Hello everyone, I've got a great story for you today. This is about a man called Jeremiah, and it happened thousands of years ago, and it was at a time when Israel, the people of God, were at war with a people called the Babylonians. They had a king called Nebuchadnezzar. He was really cruel and and so the people of God were at war, and Jeremiah, here he is here. He was what they call a prophet. Now, a prophet is someone who listens to what Father God is saying, and he tells the people of God what God is saying. And so during this time of war, Jeremiah was saying, Father God has said, you will lose this war. You are not going to win. The Babylonians are going to win. Now, the king of Israel, he wanted to win. He thought he was going to win the war against the Babylonians. He hated that Jeremiah's going around going, you're not going to win. You're going to lose. Father God has told you you're going to lose. He hated it so much that he actually had Jeremiah thrown down a well. Ready? Say goodbye to Jeremiah. Ah! Bump. He's gone. And poor old Jeremiah. Now, if you want to read what Jeremiah thought about this, you can read it in Lamentations 3. But just to give you a bit of a heads up, it's horrible and gross because it was a time of war. And in a time of war, people are really horrible to each other. And when people are scared, they're even worse. And so it's pretty gross. But in there, Jeremiah talks about what it was like when he got thrown down this well. And he said there was no water in it. So it was like, oh, at least I didn't drown. He said, but when he hit the bottom, there was all this mud and it was really gloopy. And he started to like sink down into the mud. And Jeremiah was like, oh, I think the mud is going to come up and suffocate me. I think I'm going to die in this mud. And Jeremiah thought, it can't get any worse than this. And then the people who were around this well, they started to throw in rocks and stones. And Jeremiah's getting like hit on his head with these like heavy rocks. And he was like, stop, stop. And Jeremiah said, oh, it's not the mud that's going to kill me. It's the people who are throwing the stones down into the well. That's what's going to kill me. He thought, it can't get any worse. And just as he was thinking that, the rain started to come, and the rain came down and the water started to fill up in the well. And Jeremiah said, there was like water in my mouth. I thought I was going to drown. And he thought, oh, it does get worse. This is really bad. I am going to die. And he was thinking, there's no hope. They've thrown the rope in with me. I can't climb out the side of this well. I am going to die in here. I have no hope. And Jeremiah said, and then just as I was thinking I had no hope, I remembered. And I remembered Father God. And I got a grip on hope. And I thought, Jeremiah said, I thought, Father God's love doesn't run out. His loving mercy it doesn't come to an end. Every morning, I wake up and he creates his love and his mercy. It's new there for me every day. And he said, I got a hold of that and thought, Father God's love does not run out. He loves me. And he said, in the bottom of the well, he started going, great is your faithfulness, God. I'm sticking with you. And I'm going to say it over and over again. I'm sticking with God. I'm sticking with God because Father God, is all I've got left. Now, while poor old Jeremiah was down at the bottom of his well, one of his friends went to speak to the king, Zedekiah, and said to the king, you put Jeremiah in a well? Jeremiah listens to Father God. Don't you want to know what Father God is saying? Don't you want to be able to talk to Father God? We need to get him out. And so the king said, okay, you can take Jeremiah out of the well, but he's under house arrest. Don't let him go wandering around and telling everyone that we're not going to win. So Jeremiah's friends ran as fast as they could, and they got a rope and they threw it down to Jeremiah at the bottom of the well, and they said, Jeremiah, hold on tight, tie it round you and we'll pull you out. And they pulled and they pulled and they pulled, and suddenly his little head comes up. Oh. Don't forget, he was in all of that mud. So they pulled him out. And they pulled him out of the well. So when he would have come out of the mud, he would have gone like that, wouldn't he? And they pulled him out of the well. And Jeremiah, when he wrote about this afterwards, he said, do you know what? When life is heavy and it's hard to take, what you need to do is go off by yourself, bow down in prayer. Don't ask questions of Father God, but just wait for hope to appear. Wait for Father God to give you hope. Don't run from trouble. Take it full in the face, because the worst is never the worst. And I think if anyone had the right to say that things were going from bad to worse, then it was Jeremiah. So I think he has a right to give us this good advice. And we know it was advice that will work because it worked from Jeremiah. Now, I've given you some pictures and I've given you some wells so that you can make it. But if you would really like to make this properly and do this story properly, what you need to do is make yourself some gloopy mud. Some mud and some water. Now, I know that some of our older people are watching this. So, Gal and Chris, you can do this as well. And what you can do is take dear old Jeremiah and you can shove him down. Okay, so you can put that like that behind your well. And you can shove poor old Jeremiah down to his neck in the mud. There we go. Okay, and then you can like pull him out. Ooh, gross. Can you see that? You can pull him out. So I think he needs to go down a bit lower. What do you think? Ooh, down you go. Ugh. There we go. And you can pull him out. The only thing is this is really gloopy and really messy. So if you're going to stick Jeremiah in a whole load of mud, make sure you do it outside, okay? Because otherwise you'll get mess all over the carpet. But I've got one other thing that I think it would be good for you to do. I've given you a picture for you to colour in. And it talks about the fact the Father's God's love for you doesn't run out, doesn't stop. And the fact that his mercy for you is new every morning. It'd be really good if you could learn that and learn to pray it like Jeremiah and be able to say, God's love for me doesn't run out. Even when things are going from bad to worse, God's love for me is never going to run out. And his mercy is there new for me every morning. Great is your faithfulness. Now, next week's story will be when we are all together in the church. I am so looking forward to seeing you. It's going to be such a lot of fun. So I'll see you at the church next Sunday and we'll have our story together. See you there. Bye.